Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to make some bold predictions in regards to the up and coming premium event Extreme Rules 2022, and this premium event is shaping up to be a blockbuster. We got a stacked card and of course we got all the anticipation leading up to the potential White Rabbit reveal, so let's get to it. Let's make some predictions. Let's start things off with the Riddle versus Rollins fight pit match. Now you can guarantee one thing with this match: extreme violence on another level. This rivalry has gotten so personal. Riddle's threatened to kill Rollins, and maybe, just maybe, he has the structure to do that. Now we know that Matt Riddle has experience in the fight pit matches. He did lose against Timothy Thatcher back in 2020 in NXT when Kurt Angle was the special guest referee. He lost via technical submission. I don't see that being the case this time around. I feel there's going to be broken bones, potential bloodshed, there's going to be acrobatics off the top of the structure, but I really feel that Riddle is going to be the victor here. It'll be interesting to see when this match goes on. Like, logistically, you've got to think it takes some time to set up that structure, so I can see it going on first. If it were to go on last though, it's worth mentioning that if it were to be the main event, it would be the 5th time that Seth Rollins is main evented at Extreme Rules. How crazy is that? That's absolute madness, isn't it? But I really feel that Riddle is going to tie the series. It's going to be 1-1 in the series, and then maybe they move on. Maybe they get another rematch at Crown Jewel, but it's also worth mentioning that Rollins does have a matchup against Bobby Lashley on Raw for the United States title. So I feel that Riddle will be the one to get the victory here. Now moving on to, I've got to be honest with you, this next one's one of my guilty pleasures. The Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a Donnybrook match. This is going to be, again, another level of extreme violence. It's going to be an old school vibe with some bare fist shenanigans going on. And I must admit, the Brawling Brutes are a guilty pleasure of mine at the moment. Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and Butch, collectively, like, there's just something about them. I just love the fact they fight anytime, any place. And on this occasion, it's Imperium. I can see them beating Imperium. I don't believe that Gunther will be pinned though in that match. He's going to be protected. He's going to be kept strong. He's looking like an absolute weapon with the IC title. But it's just going to be one of those matches where just anything could happen. Like, I just remember watching the Sheamus versus Gunther match at Clash at the Castle in person and just being blown away by that matchup. So this is going to deliver, but I'm going with the Brawling Brutes for the victory. Next up, Drew McIntyre versus Karrion. Now when you think of strap matches in recent memory, like me, you might think back to Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend at the Royal Rumble. I think that was a very underrated match. I don't think this one is going to disappoint. Now it's clear that Triple H has big plans for Karrion. He's heated him up nicely. He looks like a genuine threat in the top of the card, to be honest with you, and I believe that's going to continue. Karrion isn't going to say TikTok to Roman Reigns if there isn't some plan for big things down the line for Karrion. Now you've got to remember, Drew McIntyre came within inches of beating the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, at Clash at the Castle, and you can't help but feel that by Karrion beating Drew, that is going to make Karrion instantly look like a superstar. Now I do believe that Scarlett's going to get involved somehow, and maybe that's how in a way they protect Drew. But I'm going for Karrion for the victory. Next up, Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's title. And it's safe to say this match is going to be extreme. It's going to be a strong showing from both sides. But I have a sneaky feeling that Ronda Rousey is going to be victorious and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. She's going to get her title back, and I think that sets up a whole storyline arc with Liv teasing a potential heel turn maybe, because she had her dream taken away from her, from Ronda. There's going to be interference. I honestly feel it could come from Shayna Baszler or maybe a return in Charlotte, but I think having the belt back on Ronda potentially makes way for the Becky Ronda arc, which could lead up until WrestleMania, and I'm all up for that in that matchup. A huge fan of Liv. I would like to see her retain, but I really don't see it in this type of match. I don't see Ronda losing again, but I could be wrong. Now moving on to Edge versus Balor in an I Quit match. Now I do believe that WWE slightly gave away the outcome of this match, because Edge did emphasise the fact that he's not going to say I quit, and that Balor's not going to make him say those words physically. So is Balor going to make him say those words emotionally, mentally, psychologically? Is there going to be some form of torture and link to Edge's family? Now, it seems like Judgment Day's sort of MO of sort of targeting breaking up families, and we saw that from Rey and Dominic. So is this Finn Balor's way of torturing Edge via his family, via Beth Phoenix? They're beating Beth Phoenix down, or even darker, maybe one of his children. I do believe there's going to be some form of family involvement here, which is going to eventually lead to Edge saying the words I quit via the fact that he's just protecting his family. Balor is going to be kept super strong. WWE and Triple H are clearly invested in the character. They heated him up, and I don't see him losing here. So I'm going with Balor, but it's going to be more of a psychological arc to this match than anything. So that brings us on to the final match, Bianca versus Bayley, and I honestly see this going on last. I think this is how the show is going to close out, and I think this is how we're going to see the whole White Rabbit reveal. Now, I am coming up with a separate video that comes out in a couple of hours after this one, going through potential outcomes at the end of the Extreme Rules show in relation to the White Rabbit scenario. So go check that out in a couple of hours. But in terms of the actual outcome of this match, I think that Bianca is going to retain and she's going to win this match. There's going to be distractions from Damage Control, Asuka and Alexa, but I think Bianca wins. But at the end of the match, it's where I think there's going to be some shenanigans. I think Alexa's going to snap. She's going to hit that Sister Abigail, and then we're going to see something big unfold. Now, if you remember, Alexa did get pinned by Bianca back at Elimination Chamber, and that was for a #1 contenders title opportunity. She can't have forgot that. And the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, can't have forgotten about WrestleMania 37. Now, as I said, we're going to cover that scenario in way more detail in the next video, which comes out actually in a couple of hours. So go check that out for a more detailed look. But I do think we're going to get a reveal, a White Rabbit reveal, at the end of this matchup, and it's gonna be huge. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching the video. As always, be really appreciative if you can like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new.